So, hi, we are glad to welcome you at our Unicorn.Events shows. Today we are speaking with Stephen Young, Managing Partner at Glocal LLC. Dear Stephen, thank you for dedicating your time.
Thank you for inviting me. I really look forward to our conversation.
What industry does your VC fund invest in?
What are the funds I'm investing in? Or you repeat the question? Sorry, yeah. You speak slowly.
What industry? Yeah, of course. What industry does your VC fund invest in?
I bring all the different funds to match with the different startup ideas around the region, based in Hong Kong, which is Asia's world city, where there are just a lot of capital looking for ideas in fintech, in biotech, in internet-related startups, and the big variety from retail all the way to the consumers.
I see.
So you are geography agnostic, am I right?
Yes, it's throughout Asia Pacific. Yeah, but some of my partners are in the US, so some of the funds in the US may be interested in the Asian startup as well.
Okay, I see. So what is your average check size?
It will be from the millions upwards. Yeah, because anything less than $1 million is just maybe just a lot of work for very little return.
Do you have any unicorns in your portfolio yet?
It's a big range because I work with a lot of different partners. Some of them are very well-established PE funds. Some of them are startup venture capitals, and many of them has many unicorns.
So there are unicorns, yes?
Yes.
Wow. So could you tell us what is your way of picking startups that you invest in from all the others that approach you?
It's all about people because firstly, you need to meet the founder, to understand the integrity, the passion, the vision, and importantly, the track record. Has that individual, created any business before? And then you get into the business model, and then you get into the financials, and then you do your due diligence and all the rest of that.
So experience is important for you, yeah?
Absolutely. And the fire in the stomach, how passion, that entrepreneur is towards his or her idea, on their way to become a unicorn. You start with a simple idea. I go to a lot of the MBA schools, I use examples of Coca-Cola, Starbucks, Disney. They all say, Mr. Young, those are huge, big, but I say they all started as a 1 cup coffee, 1 bottle of soft drinks, one Mickey with the big ears, and a dream.
Yeah.
Nobody started as a multi-billion-dollar company. Everybody started as a startup. The Fortune 500 today, nobody started as a Fortune 500 on the day they were born, which is why the Startup Network, the Unicorn Battle are so meaningful and significant to connect the massive number of ideas out in the market.
Yeah.
And also, just to take Asia as an example, there are $500 billion of what the industry called dry powders, because they are so successful in raising money, from sovereign fund, from family office. It was in the Wall Street Journal. There was an article talking about from the KKRs, all the way through to the family office. They're all together today in Asia. They're $500 billion worth of money looking for ideas, which is why the whole unicorn battle is so important for us to serve up, the good ideas, connect the people, the idea, and the money.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, glad to hear it. So regarding our events and, for example, unicorn pitching, as an investor, what's the main criteria for you to look at when the startup is pitching? For example,
I kind of touched on it. You know, it started off as the founder, the entrepreneurial spirit. For example, in our last session, there was I think was an Indian entrepreneur, you know, he talked so fast, nobody understand what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And so it's important for them to practice a little bit of how they communicate. You know, being passionate doesn't mean that you and then nobody know what you're talking about. And you wasted 3 minutes, you wasted 5 minutes. So and also of course the PowerPoints, is important for them to do what I call not eye charts. They must not write everything on the chart, because it's like an eye chart, you know, everybody reads very differently. So they must have a very simple idea. You know, everybody use Steve Jobs as an example. If you look at his presentation, it's all very simple. You know, he would use an envelope, and then he would take up something and say, my iMac would be like this. You can put into an envelope. Ah, okay, so people understand. Rather than all the technical details, which is, people will look at the numbers once you get to the due diligence. But the initial pitch must be simple, powerful. People, what is called an elevator ride. You know, Warren Buffett talks about if he joins you on the 12th floor, by the time the elevator goes to the ground floor, if you cannot explain your idea, you don't have an idea. You know, how do you, it's like an advertising. You know, I worked in Coca-Cola for a long time. You know, people love to see the commercial, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. You have an idea what they're trying to say. And so that is a very important part of the whole, the unicorn journey, for all the pitchings to be professional, to be sharp, to be punchy, to be impactful. So people, the light bulb comes on. I know what you're trying to do. And either you are already in revenue or you are still in concept stage, it's the same. You need to be able to explain what you're doing. And also, you know, there are different accents, you know, Indian accent, Chinese accent, you know, Yugoslavian accent. So somehow we need to find a way to make it a little bit more agnostic, I guess, you know, so more neutral. So allow the judges to be able to pick it up a little bit more, you know, to understand what you're trying to say.
Wow, very interesting, Stephen. So, tell us, what is the most important in the pitch deck from your point of view? In the pitch
The most
deck.
important in
the pitch deck, yeah.
It's the first page. You know, the name of your company, you know, your name, and what are you trying to do? You're trying to change the world by doing what? You know, it's a social banking, or is a recycling idea using the cyberspace? What is it? Again, the same thing. Can you explain that in an elevator ride in 30 seconds? Can you explain on one chart with your voiceover so people know, and then people interested to get to your second chart? If your first page is like an eye chart, you know, all of words, no picture, no nothing. And then if you talk, blah, 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 and then people are not interested. People just shut off. People, and then you don't need to go to your second chart.
Wow.
So the first impression,
I see.
you know, as like an advertising for Fidel Sassoon, you got only one chance to make a first impression. If a first impression is terrible, you know, you don't have a second chance. People automatically shut off.
I see. Okay, back to pitch. How to pitch online to get the investor's attention to your mind? Because not all people can express their passion through the camera, through their long.
And all the events now, it's online events, you know.
Practice makes perfect. They must rehearse, you know, before the pitch date. They must tape themselves, look at themselves, then they would be able to see, oh, my makeup is not the way I want it to be. My hairstyle is not the way. I talk too fast, I talk too slow. And then did I pause? Did I give a chance? Once he or she record, the pitch, how many minutes do we give each company? 3 minutes, 5 minutes? How many minutes?
3 minutes.
Huh?
3 minutes, 3 minutes, yeah. 3 minutes.
So it's very, very important for them to write down a script to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because we have a global panel of judges. And then what are you going to say in those 3 minutes? It's like writing a movie, it's writing a commercial, very specific. And what are you going to show? So it's an audio visual thing. Look at all the successful presentation. I use Steve Jobs as an example. And then there are many, even Tim Cook, the successor of Steve Jobs. You go to the apple.com, you look at all of their presentation. It's just simple, powerful. You know what they're trying to tell you. And then how do you compress that and do that in 3 minutes? Do not just throw all the details, because people, it's like tennis. If you throw one ball, you catch it. If people throw 50 balls at you, you say, no, I'm not interested. It's just too many things coming at me all at the same time. So one idea, one chart, one point, and then open with the pitch and close with the pitch. Remind people why you spend 3 minutes of their time, and ask for the order, and then before the Q&A.
Thank you, Steven. So please give a piece of advice to the startups out there. Something what will help them to succeed?
It's a very big question. It's I'm repeating myself. He or she must have a basic business model, which is clear, understandable, and then go to the Unicorn.Events to pitch, to ask for investors. And again, if he or she record the pitch and then look at it from the perspective of a judge, then and critique, your business model is flawed. For example, somebody would say, I'm going to create the next Facebook. What does that mean? There is already a Facebook. What's the difference between you and that Facebook? What's the difference between you and that Instagram? What's the difference between Kate and Kim Kardashian? So you need to articulate and differentiate your idea, rather than say, oh, I'm the next Airbnb. Explain to me why.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's about competitors, yes?
It's differentiation. It's articulation of explaining, what you're trying to do. In simple English, not in jargons. Oh, I'm into Internet of Things, I'm AR, I'm VR, I'm AI, Those are just a lot of letters in alphabet soup. It doesn't mean anything, because people want to do, what does your business gonna change lives? What values do you add to the users? What's the benefit? Apple remains a very good example, because nobody understands the technology behind the iPhone, but everybody knows how to use it. That's why it sells a lot.
Yeah.
And then so you need to focus on the benefits. How do you use this product? How do you use this service? Why is it a one-click solution? You may have a lot of different things behind in the kitchen. They don't want to see the kitchen. They just want to see the dish. Wow, it is Michelin 3-star. It smells good. It looks good. It tastes good. That's all they care. It's not a cooking show. It's not trying to say you need to do this. It's not Jamie Oliver. Even Jamie Oliver, you know, he comes across as they're all very simple. You splash of lemon, splash of salt, you know, bang, bang, you know, oh, you get this wonderful dish. Versus the traditional cooking, oh, half a spoon of baking soda, quarter of this, all the technicalities of how to do a good dish. The reason Jamie Oliver is popular is because he makes it look very simple. At the end, it tastes very good. It may not be true on TV, but he comes across as this is all very simple. Everybody can do it.
Yeah, but repeat Jamie Oliver's or Steve Jobs' success. It's not it's a hard task for.
But it's a role model. Everybody had to learn from somebody. You know, they need to learn from. When you mention you want Unicorn Event to be successful on social media, you need to learn from Kim Kardashian. You know, she does not use TV. You know, she used social media to such an extent. You know, Justin Bieber, you know, people who are successful using social media. And then I'm sure there are many except, you know, on LinkedIn, you know, who are the biggest KOLs. You know, how do we bring them into the Unicorn family? So they would be able to get the thousands of clicks, millions of clicks that we're looking for. So we have to learn from the industries. You know, the whole industry is so new. And then the whole idea of online is very new. And then even the founder of Zoom said he is fatigued, you know, looking at the camera and then blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just how do you break the fatigue? You know, there are a lot of things we can learn and improve and network ourselves. You know, to the whole idea of a WWW is to create this web, which then can spread everything we are doing. At the moment, what's the average like and click for Unicorn Events? Do you track on LinkedIn at the moment?
Yeah.
At the moment, what's the average number of clicks?
I don't know.
So you need to do some homework, Kate. You need to do some homework, Lina.
Yeah.
because your job is to manage this, and so it's important to set some targets for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, we have social media department, but they.
Yeah, but you are the client-facing part of the company, so they need to kind of. Who's the boss of the whole Unicorn thing? Is it Alex? Is he the boss?
Yeah.
So he needs to set KPIs. You know, for the social media, at the moment you got 5,000 clicks. So every time we post something, and I want in a month's time or 6 months' time to be 10,000. What are you doing to drive that?
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, so it's important for Alex to do all of that. Yeah, to push all of you, you know, to be more successful.
Yeah. Great, Steven. Thanks for this interesting interview. I hope to see you soon at our Unicorn Cup.
Absolutely. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.